Missing someone. Love with all your heart. Missing someone. Love with heart.
Do we have time for that rainbow underlayer?
Can I see a picture of what you want?
You know, the prism kind of thing?
How much of it underneath do you want it?
I guess big enough section to house at least 6 stripes or, you know, gradation.
Do you want it like paneled or you want like chunks?
I was thinking vertical.
So like for chunks, like do purple, pink,
Yeah.
orange, yellow in the back.
Yeah, in the back, yeah.
Because you still have some purple, I need to try and remove some of this. I don't know how much of it will come out. How vibrant? Do you want it pretty vibrant for the rainbows?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you could see through our consultation, we are going to be doing a rainbow underlight and re-highlighting her roots to kind of blend her gray in. So a little backstory on this client is she originally first started coming to me because she wanted to do some gray blending, and then over time we've kind of transitioned her gray blending into some really fun purple tones, and today we're going to be doing rainbow on her for the very first time. All the colors that we've done in the past have just been like variations of different purple tones, like a light lavender tone, and she gradually just kind of went a little bit more vibrant over time. So today we are going to first lighten her roots, blend out the gray, and then I'm going to go in and do some color remover because she does have quite a bit of layers of purple all over. I have been sending her home with some purple color bombs that I've been making with hair masks, and a color bomb is basically like a hair mask that I will kind of add a custom color to for my clients who do more of a creative color tone like this, so that their vibrant tones last longer at home in between appointments. I'm so sorry guys, this shot for the next minute or so is going to be a little bit out of focus. I did not focus it properly, but basically what I'm doing is I'm going in highlighting her roots. So if you're new here, I do a detail hairline around the nape of the neck, and usually I'll kind of do a weave there, and then I kind of take up a center parting section up the back of the head and just begin doing my slicing. And I just find slices are just 1,000 times easier, especially when you're getting through the back area too, and you want to just cover more ground and just work a little smarter and not harder. So I'm going in just doing slices. My slices aren't super spaced together. I am making them probably like a 1/2 inch apart, but as I gradually get closer towards the top, as you can see in this clip, I will start to make these slices a little bit closer together, more so like a 1/4 inch apart. And as I'm doing these two, I am trying to actively pick out the sections that have the longest root. So every time a client comes in, when I do this technique on them, it's essentially to kind of keep their ends more on the solid side, unless the client is more into a dimensional look. But for this client particularly, we like to have the ends a little bit more solid. So I'm going in and just actively trying to pick out the root that has the longest root. And so I'm not technically touching up the highlights that I did last time. I might be touching up the highlights that we did maybe 2 appointments ago or even 3 appointments ago. And since I pretty much do this type of foil placement on majority of my clients, it's really easy for me to just pick up where I left off last time. It just keeps it very simple. I don't have to overthink it. I just kind of go in and I know exactly where I left off and what needs to be done this appointment based off of their goals. And it's also really easy if you ever want to alter it. Like let's say she wanted to be more dimensional, or she wants to be more solid. It's super easy to kind of just adjust little things with this placement in order to achieve a more dimensional look or a more solid look. It just depends on whatever you need. And I feel like simplifying a placement like this on clients just makes my life so much easier, and gets me through the foiling a lot quicker too. So timing wise, when I do this technique with my assistant, so what my assistant does during this time is she'll mix up my color. And if I have like a longer root, this client doesn't really have much of a long root, it's kind of short. But if a client did have like really long hair and I was touching it up root to ends, then I would have my assistant cut me my long foils. Because as you can see, as I go through these sides, I try my best to kind of lay the foil as flat as possible on the hair that is a little bit thicker. You can see I kind of folded it around her hairline, and the only reason why I do that around the hairline is because those hairs are a lot finer, and if I don't have that extra lock and fold, sometimes the foils slip. But other than that, everything behind the hairline where the hair does get a little bit thicker, I like to just lay them flat just like that, because I do not want to fold up or crease where I've placed product, because I find, especially on hair that's a little bit darker, that you can sometimes get an uneven lift if you kind of move around the product where you've already placed it on the foil. So back to timing. It usually takes me about like 45 minutes to do a full head like this. Just depending if my assistant is working with me. If she isn't, then it may take me 45 minutes to like an hour, but typically it doesn't really take me over an hour to kind of foil someone's roots. So while my client is processing under the dryer, I am gonna mix up her color mover and get that ready. So right now I'm gonna be using the Danger Jones color mover to try and remove that purple. The previous purple that she's had on her hair before, it is Danger Jones. So I'm pretty confident that this color remover will definitely help get that out, because it's made to remove those specific colors. And pretty much for this whole look, I am going to be just using Danger Jones. I even used it for the lightener with like 20 volume. And right now for the color remover, I am just mixing it with 5 volume. So I did like 20 grams of powder to like 60 grams of 5 volume, because I like to mix this 1 to 3. You really don't need the color remover to be too thick. I do like it on the runny side, so we're doing it 1 to 3, and I feel like that's perfect. I feel like 5 volume is just enough to kind of like open up the cuticle and kind of push out that color a little bit more. And after this, I kind of just like, I started having my assistant apply the color remover as we're rinsing out her foils, just kind of save time, because as the front foils are processing, I want that color remover to kind of do its thing, so that we're not waiting all day for it to remove that purple, because the purple is kind of dark and I did have a feeling that it might take a while. So I just wanted to get a head start and just have it processing at the same time while her front root foils were processing. And then here's just a quick clip of what it looked like when we were going to rinse it out. You can see we kind of section out the hairline from the Underlight, because we don't want any, we're going to be putting purple there, so it's going to be the same color. So I felt like it was unnecessary to do color mover there. So we left that part and just kind of did the color mover on the underneath in the back, where we're going to be putting colors that are pretty much opposite of what she has right now. So here I just quickly started to section out where we're going to be placing the colors. So the pieces in front of her face, like around her face, are going to be purple, and it's going to be the same purple that's going to go on the top. But I like to pre-section because I don't want to get confused or anything with the color and spacing as I start applying. So this just makes it a lot cleaner. And then before I even start applying the colors, I do just kind of mark the sections again, because I'll be having my assistant help me throughout the back while we apply this creative color tone. So really quickly, the colors that I'm using are the Danger Jones semi-permanent colors, and the purple is pretty much like a mix of Masquerade, Exotica, and I believe we put some Libertine in there as well. And then for that blue, we did mostly Solitude and a little bit of Masquerade. The green, we did Empire, which is like a forest type of green with some clear. And then that yellow is Star Rider, which I freaking love because Star Rider is such a powerful yellow, and later you'll see it really did cover. I was kind of worried that the yellow wouldn't cover because it's so opposite from purple, but Star Rider came through and it created such a beautiful, vibrant yellow. And then the orange that we used was Burnout, which is also a very powerful orange. And then for the reddish pinkish tone, we used Diablo and some clear. And then I added some Hysteria to kind of make it more of a color that was like a little bit on the pinkier side. And that is pretty much what made up all of these beautiful rainbow tones.
Oh, cute. Look at that. I like it. That's great. I love it.
Alrighty guys, so here is the finished look. I was so shocked how vibrant these colors actually came out, because you could see even from the before, not all of the color came out. Like, it wasn't fully blonde before we put that rainbow underneath. And I still diluted those colors too with clear, so they weren't as vibrant as they are straight out of the tube at all. You can see they are very vibrant on her hair. And honestly, the Star Rider, the yellow, I was so nervous about it. I told her we might not see yellow, but you could definitely see the yellow here. I feel like it looks really pretty. It's a bit muted, but you could still see the difference and the beautiful rainbow tones, and she was really happy with the way that it came out. I feel like it is going to fade really pretty too, because I remember when I used to have creative color in my hair, rainbow was literally my favorite because it would fade out the best. I feel like rainbow fades the best because it just fades really iridescent, and the fact that it's so colorful as it fades too, it stays really colorful and it just looks better and better as you wash. Alrighty guys, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and as always, I will talk to you guys next week.